Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Shooting Answers. How do you like my intro today? I'm very excited, guys, to answer some more questions that you actually send me over. I receive almost a full mailbox of questions that you guys, you went through my website and you started to look for the curiosity that you had about this and that picture. So thank you about that. And I love to give you some answers, hopefully to explain you better what you actually wanted to know. Now, I think we are ready to start, and let's go with the first one. All right, Patrick, when photographing people, do you prefer to do it in the studio or outdoors? Ooh, Patrick, well, first of all, probably because you checked or you watched my other video where I explained that I do have a photo studio. For whoever didn't know, I do own a photo studio in Florida where I live now, and which means that when I'm home from my expeditions, from my trips, I do take pictures of people, kids, families, maternity, newborn, and of course, because we are in a studio, we do use studio lights. So when I photograph people, do I prefer to do it in the studio or outdoor? Well, I live in Florida, so let me give you this kind of trick. Whenever you take pictures outdoor here in Florida, you sweat. When you sweat, you see it. When you see it, but you want to look perfect, you're going to ask me then if I can edit your pictures. Oh, can you take the sweat away? Oh, can you try to to make me look younger? When we are in studio, you don't sweat because you do have the air condition. That's the first answer that I can give you, but I also have a second one. In studio, you can photograph it 24/7. And the light will always be the same. When you shoot outdoor, you gotta kind of follow the sun. And the sun is crazy here in Florida more than anywhere else. And it's cloudy, and now it's raining, but it's sunny. Now it's super bright. Shall we do it at 6 a.m. when the sun is not out yet, but the light is good? Shall we do it at 6 p.m. when the sun is already down in the winter, but the light is still there? Now, of course, if you ask me, I would like a beach in the back. Well, that's my answer. We got to do it outdoor. And I'm going to give you my suggestion if you want the golden hours or it's all good. When the sun is up, a human being has a shadow here, right? Because the sun is up. 1 o'clock, the sun is here. It means that I have this side that is getting darker than this side. So I do, when I shoot people that they pay me to take pictures of them, I need also to understand what do they want. I try to bring them in the studio because we have way more control of everything. You don't have other people in the park that cross behind, or walking dogs, squirrels. Anything can happen outdoor, not indoor. We don't have squirrels in the studio. If you tell me though, I would like to take pictures in some Florida environment, well, we cannot do it at the studio. In the studio, we do have studio lights, umbrellas, triggers, follow specific videos that I do have about photographing in the studio that you can find in what does it take to get the right shot, which is one of the 3-4 playlists in my YouTube channel that you gotta subscribe if you didn't do yet. We do have more than 100 different backdrops. This is one of them. And usually when you try to explain, okay, you are pregnant, you are 7 months pregnant, you want to take maternity pictures, you are already sweating just because you are almost ready to give birth. Do you want to do it in the studio? We have the changing room, everything is more calm and, quiet. Or you want to go in the park and if anything can happen, you gotta walk. When you walk, your feet will swallow. So a lot of situation, a lot of question why when we book the session. But if you ask me personally, I wasn't a big fan of the studio a few years ago. Now I'm in love with the studio because you can go way further than before. If we go back 10, 20 years ago, well, you were buying and using 3, 4 backdrops and that was it. Today, I'm telling you, we have 110, 112 different backgrounds. And when people see different backgrounds in your catalog, they are like, wow, I don't need to go in a barn. We can use this barn backdrop and it's easier. It's easier because you can stop, you don't need to follow the sun. Oh, wait a minute, the cloud just cover the light. Now I need to change all the settings because the light is completely different. It's way easier. So, Patrick, when photographing people, do I prefer to do it in the studio or outdoor? Indoor. Right now I'm telling you indoor. Now, of course, if you tell me you are in Africa and you want to photograph that tribe, of course it's going to be outdoor. So it depends on the situation. But if you ask me, when you are in Florida and you have the chance to choose between walking into my studio or going to the beach, I don't live that far to the beach. I'm probably 45 minutes to Daytona, Cocoa Beach, and actually not more than 2 hours from Clearwater. I'm talking about the best beaches that we have in the entire country, probably one of the best beach. Of course, I can go there. We can go there if you want, but I do prefer to do it at the studio. Thank you, Patrick, for your question. Let's move to the next one. Chelsea. Whoa, Chelsea, this is one of the toughest questions that I can probably answer you. Do you still like what you do? Do I still like what I do? I love what I do. Actually, it's the easiest answer that I'm going to give you ever. Yes, I do still love, not just like, love what I do. And you know why? Because technology is moving so fast. Competition is getting higher and higher. New photographers every day. Cameras more affordable than ever. Or just people that can afford to spend $1,000, $2,000, $6,000. Maybe they don't know what they do, but they can afford equipment. And because competition gets higher and higher, and the equipment is faster than ever, try to catch all these things up and try to stay at the top require not just time, not just money, not just skills, but requires the capability to still like it. It's not English, right? I didn't say it in the correct English, so let me try to explain it in a different way. If you like it, oh, you go for it. You look for it. New photographer in town, bring it because I want to pair him or her and I want to be better. I want to do better. I'm working for a magazine that they push our comfort zone way over the limit. Not because they want us to struggle, because they want us to think out of the box. I love to think out of the box. When I first studied photography, when I first followed my dad in his journey through Formula One races photography, I wasn't understanding what he tried to, not to teach me, but to explain me while I was joining him throughout some races and Grand Prix around the world. Think out of the box. Now, more than ever, when I look at some of his old pictures, I realize, oh my gosh, look at this picture between the two trees or laying down on the ground. Back then I thought, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? Why is he laying down when he can take the same piece, the same car crossing by? Why is not standing like everybody else? But the fact that today, even if he passed away over 23 years ago, almost 24 in August, I'm recording this video in March 2024. So it's almost 24 years that he passed away. And I still receive email asking me, are you Daniele's son? Do you still own his archive? Do you still have that picture in that Grand Prix, in that angle corner? And when I look at those pictures, I'm like, wow. Somehow I'm doing the same in a different field, wildlife, landscape, nature, not sport. Well, not Formula One. I shoot a lot of sport, but not Formula One. Not racing photography. Racing cars photography. But I do look at the picture, I'm like, wow, I do the same. Wherever I go, I try different angle, I try different lenses, I try different perspective, I try long exposure and not. And that's what I like to do. Now, I said, do I love my job? Why? Because competition got higher. Now, competition got higher, but can you afford to buy that? Great. Do you know how to use it? You are already losing the 20% of the people that can afford those lenses or those cameras. Are you able to go there and spend the time that it takes to get the right shot? Probably not. Well, we are already dropping another 30% probably. And now, skills, time, yes, money to afford that, and chances to be there. When you put all that together, you realize that you need only one thing to drop the other 30-40% or probably less percent of the people that today is my competition. Think out of the box. The moment that you are able to think out of the box, you are at the top. Are you the best? Am I the best? Absolutely not. I love what other photographers do, but that doesn't mean I cannot reach that point. I cannot reach that level. I cannot be even better one day than that guy or that girl. That's why I love my job. I love it. And let's be honest, the fact that you guys, Patrick, Chelsea, and some other, and in the other videos, I have hundreds of people asking me questions. It's because I know how much hundreds of thousands of people would like to be in my position, working for magazines that they send me out there and waiting for the perfect shot that one day you can actually see on a magazine or a website or on a canvas in your living room. And because of that, because of you, it gives me the strength to move forward. Let's do it. I'm tired, but let's do it anyway. I can't wait for my new adventure. So yes, Chelsea, I was saying Patrick. Patrick was the question before. Yes, Chelsea, I do still love so much what I do. I'm so pumped. Let me read the next question. Robert, what is your favorite place to photograph? Ooh, Robert, let me shoot this quote. Best place to photograph? The place that I didn't go yet. But let's be realistic. I love for sure Africa. I think that Africa, it's a dream come true for any amateur or professional photographer. No matter if you are a landscape or wildlife nature, it doesn't matter. When you go there, you probably feel a little bit lost at the beginning, but when you leave, you just don't want to leave, or you are already planning for your next trip. So Africa for sure. I'm in love with west of this country, America. There are so many national parks, but not only state parks, national monuments, that national landscapes. I'm in love with that area. A lot of desert, lake, rivers, mountains. I wanna. You know what? I'm actually gonna tell you. I think that the national park. Let's try to narrow down. Otherwise, I'm gonna start to name so many different places. And the more I think, the more they come in my mind. Like, oh, but that place. Let's say I'm sorry if I'm laughing, because sometimes when I'm planning, or the magazine is planning to send me somewhere, one of the first thought that I have is, have I been there before? Yes. What is a good barbecue place over there? and I know that I cannot rate or rank the favorite place to photograph compared to where is a good barbecue place. So let's stick into the national parks. National parks, American national parks right now. I believe Yellowstone is the most complete for me. We are talking about, that's a personal question, right? For me, is the most complete national park that you can have. Why? Well, from north to south, in the same national park, you have 30, 40 degrees difference. Very colder in the north, warmer in the south. Not only, you have hills, mountains, geysers, rock formations, any kind of wildlife, because you can find moose, you can find wolves, bears, squirrels, beavers. You go, every time you go, you realize that, oh, I never seen this place, or I've been already here, but it looks so different because of the flowers, the butterflies, because of the snow. When it's cold, the park is limited. But even oh, I didn't mention the waterfalls. There are so many, the upper, the lower, so many waterfalls, so lakes, rivers. It's too much to see, too much to photograph. Yes, I'm sticking with Yellowstone National Park is my favorite park to photograph. Every time I go, it's like the first time, and I'm telling you, I've been to Yellowstone National Park, and when I say Yellowstone, I'm talking about that area. I'm going to add Grand Teton National Park, which is very close, Wyoming, Montana. It's right there at the edge of the south entrance of Yellowstone. Grand Teton National Park is one of the most underrated national parks, and you know why? Because is located underneath the most famous and the oldest national park in the world. And that's why when you talk about Wyoming, Montana, you think Yellowstone. And sometimes you don't even realize there is so much to see and, of course, to photograph, to experience in the Grand Teton that you need a month. And even if you have a month, you need 2 months. And no matter how long you stay, as soon as you're leaving, you are missing it so much that you are already planning another trip over there. So, Robert, was my favorite place to photograph? Yes, the place that I never been yet, but let's be honest, Yellowstone is so far the one that gave me more emotion, gave me more satisfaction picture-wise, and I discovered a barbecue place that is open only in the summer, well, spring, summer, and fall actually, but because the weather is so crazy, spring and fall are so reduced, and so you have 4 or 5 good months there. West Yellowstone, best barbecue place ever. Ready for a next and actually the last question of the day? Let's go for it. Jack, Skies Awakening. All right, we are talking about a specific picture. I'm going to put it up here so you can see it and you can understand. If you've never been on my website, well, if you've never been on my website, just go www.simoneamaduzziphotography.com. Did you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Did you follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, TikTok? You gotta follow me. And who knows that we are not gonna meet somewhere, sometimes around this country or another country. Hey, don't forget that I do organize amateur photography workshops all around the country. So maybe it's time for you to sign up for the next one. But, Jack, I'm sorry. Let me go back to your question. Skies Awakening. How difficult is to achieve the perfect reflection? So Skies Awakening, as you can see, it's a picture of this Grand Teton, just because I answered before to Robert was my favorite place to photograph, Grand Teton National Park. There is this picture, as you can see, perfect reflection in the water of the Grand Teton National Park mountains. How difficult it's been. It's not been difficult because I knew what I wanted to do. It's been difficult to wake up at 4:30 a.m. That has been difficult. It was so cold. Even if the pictures has been taken in June, actually end of May, so it was so cold at 5, 6 a.m. I checked at what time was the sunrise. I got on Google before and I tried to figure out. I actually asked some locals and I asked other photographers because I've seen these pictures before taken by another photographer and I wanted to take it as well. And I figured out where it was and I've been suggested to go there way earlier because it will get crowded. And so I did. I got very covered outfit-wise because it was really cold. I grabbed my tripod, I drove over there, and I parked. And when I parked, no matter what time I got there were already at least 20 people. So I grabbed my tripod, I grabbed my camera and the lens. I didn't need so many lenses. I needed one, and I needed a wide one. And I just tried to find the perfect spot to catch as much as possible of the reflection. You couldn't see at that moment the reflection because it was still dark. The sun didn't rise at all yet. And then I started to keep the conversation going with other people that they were there, photographer and just amateurs, from binoculars to other cameras. We tried to help each other. What is the setting that we will probably should use? And as soon as we started to see behind us the light coming up, which meant that it will hit the mountains in front of us. That's where mountains will get a little bit pink because some snow is still there, which means reflection. Now, Skies Awakening, this picture that's the name of the pictures, by the way, Skies Awakening. It's a long exposure. I'm not going to explain you on details what means long exposure because you can actually follow another specific video in what does it take to get the right shot, which is a playlist in my YouTube channel, and you can actually understand better why I needed a tripod and why it's a long exposure and not just a click and go. And so it's not been difficult to achieve the perfect reflection because I knew what I was doing. I knew it could happen, and the reason why, actually, I need to be honest, you need to be a little bit lucky on that, because if you have a duck, a beaver, or any animal that is swimming or moving in the water, well, the water will move, and if the water moves, you cannot achieve the perfect reflection as you are asked me. So it's been easy because I've been a little bit lucky, but I have to be honest, I studied a lot, tried to go in the perfect place, hoping, of course, that the perfect sunrise will come up, and there were no clouds, which helped to have a perfect pinkish colors on the mountains in front of us, in front of me and us, all of us that we were there. So it hasn't been difficult, but again, I was prepared. I had the right camera, I had the right lens, I had the right settings at the end, I had the tripod, so I was ready for it. All right, guys, thanking you, Patrick, Chelsea, Roberts, and Jack. Thanking you again for sending me your questions. I not only wish you all a wonderful day, and I will close this appointment of shooting answers. I just want to invite you all, shoot me an email, just comment below this video or any other video or any picture in my social media pages. Just write me your question, ask me some questions, and I'll be happy to come back here sitting in front of my 2405 lens Canon 1DX Mark II, and why not give you some answers. In the meanwhile, I raise my hand and I say goodbye, everyone.